さあ、皆様おはようございます。いかがお過ごしでしょうか。司会がですね、変わりまして、ね、まあ、こうなってます。次の、がですね、ターにある、SGDQ2021、またホラーゲームじゃないですか。2本続けてズームでございます。声やばい。さあ、どうでしょうはい、どうでしょう。途切れ途切れになってた感じかな。どうだろう。大丈夫そうですか。ちょっとね、マイクの、朝なんでね、声ちっちゃいんで、マイクの敷地が足りませんでした。元気に行きましょう。皆様、朝ごはんは食べられましたか？声、はっきり、しゃっきり、行きましょう。あ、いいですね、皆さんね。いやー、僕は、さっき、お餅を食べたんですが、お餅焼いてる途中にブレーカーが落ちました。
And welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2021 online. My name is Lat Mackey. That is going to be it for me, folks. Thank you so much, chat, for showing up for that Vanquish run. Let's keep the Dono train
ダメですね。PC2 台とエアコンと同時にお湯沸かしながらトースターやるとブレーカーが落ちるってことがありましたね。
You're muted.
You're muted.
I was muted. Hello. Haha. Okay. I'm professional at this. Yeah, cool. Anyway, welcome back. I'm just crossing my arms in embarrassment here. I'm joined by Pulse Effects and I'm joined by Swiftaloo. How are you both doing today?
I woke up from a nap.
Oh yeah, you
need
took
more
a nap.
coffee.
I'm kind of jealous because Swift was able to take a nap before all of this. I'm gonna cheat a little bit this interview. I could ask you all, the usual questions and whatever the hell else comes out of my mouth. But I'm actually gonna let social media take over for most of this because anyone that doesn't know, I'm going to be on the virtual couch for you too. So I want to try my hardest not to spoil too much, and also so I have something to talk about. So we're just gonna jump right into social media. This is gonna be from @Grenisect to the both of you. What got you both into
DLC か何かかな多分ね。
I'll let Swift go first.
Oh, okay. So funny enough,
そうですね。今、ちょっとトラブルで Discord の喋ってるアイコン出ないんですけど、こちらは改良中となっておりますので、お待ちいただければと。
join the community and see what's going on.
DLC なんですね。
Later on, as I continued watching that speedrun, I was like, wow, this looks fun. I want to speedrun a Pokemon game. And then I picked Red.
What a mistake. What is wrong?
I know.
Pulse, give me a better story. Give me a better story.
All right. So when I first started doing a little bit of Pokemon content creation, I actually started off with Wi-Fi battles and such, and eventually I got tired of that.
遊んだことないんですけど、昔のバージョンぐらいしか遊んだことはないんですが。
Pokemon Crystal.
Another mistake.
Yeah, slightly better answer though.
あったかな映画版は見たことありますね。
Did you spill water or did you spill juice on the carpet? That's basically what I just heard.
メターナルは昔、本職の神父さんに遊ばせるっていう動画を見たことがありますね。すごい反応してましたけど。
Specifically because like Wobbuffet's hilarious in the anime, but female Wobbuffet, she has that.
2作目は確か、あれですよね、オープンソースだから。い
It's so good.
つでも遊べますよね、もうね。
Mine would have to, yeah, sorry. Mine would have to be Eevee, which is kind of funny.
No way. I
Yeah,
never
no way.
What?
Wait, Eevee, what? I never saw that coming. And it's because of Mystery Dungeon, actually. I got Eevee in the quiz when I first played Mystery Dungeon, and it was first try. And I played through the game, and I cried, and I got really attached to it.
All right, going back to more questions. This is from @SuperJustinBros. What are your preferred Pokemon generations to speedrun, if any?
Honestly, Gen 3, I would say. Just because
that's where Fire
なんかね、昔なんだっけな、アンドロイドが搭載されてる冷蔵庫の画面でドゥームやるみたいなやつとかもありましたね。
But yeah, Generation 3,
とりあえずドゥーム動かすみたいな。
the better one, specifically because of the manipulation. Having like a way easier time to like actually get in and like actually play the game is, I just love it. Also, Coliseum is amazing. Speedrun, love it.
This might come as a shocker, but I'd have to say Gen 5.
I don't even know why I'm asking you questions anymore. Everything's you gotta throw a curveball for us.
はいはいはい。
Okay, well I do like
電子
Gen
自体
1.
もシークレットはあるけど、
I don't throw
基本的に
curveballs
敵
ever
配置
again.
が
I hate that answer.
なかな
All
か
right, here's
厳
your
しい
chance to
と。
throw
な
a
るほ
better
どなるほど。
curveball. We got @2shy asking if you were a gym leader, what type would you be?
Steel. Definitely Steel. Steel's awesome.
I'd have to go with electric. I love electric types.
I'm gonna call you
なんか
Matt
ね、
and Surge
昔
from now on.
あれでしたっけ
Sounds
And
good.
the next two
2016
questions
か
are
エター
actually
ナルの
pretty similar enough, so I'm gonna ask them both. We have from
BGM の
@laserglow_, which is which part of the game is
派遣に
scariest, and then
666
also
って書
from
かれてたみたい
@conceptionsr, which is
なのも
what
ち
is
ょ
the
っと
one
ニュースに
battle
なっ
that
た
you're
りし
worried
てま
about
した
the
よね。
most during the run?
I think Berg we agreed on, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, oh, Berg.
Berg is absolutely terrifying. We'll explain when you get there, which you guys should absolutely tune into when it comes, and you guys should tune into the fight. It's really intense, very
It is
intense.
the worst fight.
まあね、ドゥーム
And
な
then
か
we
な
got
か
@fireblind
語話表現
133
がすごい
asking
の
what's the most
で、
difficult part about running
朝7時
Pokemon
半です
games.
のでね、
And I always love hearing this answer from different
爽やか
gamers because
に
a lot of
朝
times it's
を
the
迎え
similar
たい方
answer,
はちょっ
but
と
then there's
気をつけ
also
た
like
方がいい
some
かもしれませ
nuances
んね。
based on like how many
かな
different
り
games they've ran, what generation they run the most.
画面
So
が
really
赤
excited
黒
to
い
hear
の
this
で。
one.
You want to go Swift on this one?
I'd have to say
もしかしたら始まる前
trying to
に
put
急いで
up
食べちゃった方がいいかもしれない。
the RNG. However, the worst contender for
朝ご
me
はん。
is trying to
でも
extend
始まる前に食べた方がいいかもしれない。
manipulation. Like I've done Crystal a little bit, I've done White 2, and I have temporarily stopped those games because the extended manipulation was just killing me. And it's really hard to be able to move past that because I'm the type of person who likes to finish a lot of runs rather than reset a bunch.
I think for me in particular,
語話
somewhat
系と
singular
いえば
answer, but I think more so
まだ
picking the game that you
ね
want to stick to because like
高
they're
校生ぐ
all
らいの時
Pokemon
に
speedruns are super similar, but like they
実
have
家
like so
で
many like
ご飯を食べ
randomly
なが
really
ら
good
層
things
を見
about
てたん
them
ですけど、
that make
まあ
them
似
fun.
た感じ
So
の
like
結
in
構
particular
語話
like
表現の
Fire Red Leaf
きつい
Green,
映画なんで
full
す
of
けど、
intensity. You could die at any second. I love that stuff personally.
夜ご飯食べながらお
Gen
茶の間で見
5,
て
just the
て、
smoothness of
す
it,
ご
it's
いその後、
fantastic.
なんでお前
Gen
この時間
7,
にこの映画を選んだ
cutscenes, you get restroom
Oh
breaks.
boy, that's a true point though. It's a true point.
But yeah, it's just like different games. Hard to pick.
ね、ご飯
And
食
then
べ
the
ながら
last
見るのはあ
question,
ま
and
りお
this
す
is
す
the
めしま
most
せん。
important question of them all. This is from @QUB. Will you pet the doggy at the end of the run?
I don't
I'll
think
pet the Eevee if we get some donations.
the only way to pet the dog is to transfer it up to Sword and Shield.
Well, you better find a way to do it quick for the fans, or else you're gonna be public enemy number one.
はいはいはい。
It's okay.
DLC1 も
Tell them I
2も
already
カッ
have
ト
one
シーン
in
な
Sword
し
and、Shield.
ムービーなしで、そこそこ長いので
It's the
30
same one
分。
I'm using today, I promise.
EST 30分って
Well,
な
anyway,
る
thank
と
you
結
too
構
for
ズルを
taking
し
the
そうだ。
time to
なる
talk
ほ
to
どなるほ
little
ど。
me. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it back up to our new host, Prolix. I'm Keyzeron, that's Pulse and Swift, and we'll see you all later.
あ、画面。もう一個ね。もう一個切り替わったらゲームだ。はい。
In the first age, in the first battle, when the shadows first lengthened.
そうですね、カテゴリーの方が、そうですね。
What's up,
印象
everyone? I
残
am your
って
host,
る。
Prolix. Welcome back to
そうですね、
SGDQ2021
両方ともノーメジャーグリ
online
ッ
powered by
チ。
Twitch.
難易度
We're
がこれ
raising
ナ
money
イ
for
トメアっ
taxes
てな
without
ってる
borders
ん
and
ですけ
going
ど、これ
fast
多
all
分
week long.
名前的に明
Showcasing
らか
some
に
of
最
your
高難易度で
favorite
すよね。
video game speed runs. I'm getting an idea here that we have a $5 train going on right now. Anonymous donated $555.55, saying 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Thank you, Anonymous.
めっちゃ
Anonymous
5、
with
5。
$10, boarding the a little bit cooler $10 train.
もっと上の難易度あるんですか？
Keep it cool, keep
ナイ
it
トメアって
classy,
明
much
らか
obliged.
に名前からして、
And
高
here
難
is
易
a
度な感じしたんです。
$200 donation from DMJ654. I'll try my best with this one.
調べ
When
てみ
you
ます。
first
各
saw
難易度。
Halo 2 was the
難易度。
bonus
各
game,
な。
were you
わあ、なにこれ
blinded by its majesty?
難易度、すごいですね。6種類もあるんですね。
Yet we are under
死ぬには若すぎ
$200,000
る。
away
これが
from
最低
completion.
難易度です。
Mere hours
この難
away
易度
from
ではワクワクす
ending,
る戦
and
闘
no
が
hype
楽しめる。
train
体力
started.
がない状態で無理
Noble
をしたり、
High
たまに
Oaks,
倒されることも
surely
上
you
達の経
understand that
験
if
となる。
everyone donated $5
6
right
種類。
now, we
死
will
ぬ
be
には
well on
若
our
すぎ
way
る。
to
手加
making
減
it
無料。
so.
ウルトラバイオ
Let's
レン
get a
ス。ナイトメ
$5
ア。
hype
ウ
train
ル
to get
ウ
the
ルトラ
Halo
ナイ
2
トメア。
incentive met.
エクストラ
Let's
ライフ
stop
も。
those rings from
すごい。
firing.
名前のセンスが
Thank
すご
you
い、すごい
very
です。
much again for the
ナイ
generous
トメアの説
$200
明。
donation there.
雷光のような反射神経と、ゲームを隅々まで極める、熟練の FPS プレイヤーにはこの難易度が適切だろう。
We're going to keep talking about it though. The next bonus game, Halo 2, will be added to the schedule
すごい、すごい
when the
な。
marathon total
すごい
reaches
な。
$1 million, and not a moment before, so we are running out of time. We need your donations to MSF right now to make that happen. All right, and without any further ado, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for the next run. Everyone loves that. It's
一個上のウルトラナイトメアってなると、
No major glitches, Nightmare.
もう倒された時点で、
Bloodshot 9001, take it away.
倒された時点
Hello,
で
everybody. This is
ゲームオーバー
Bloodshot
みたいな。
9001. It is really good to be back at GDQ to show off Doom Eternal once again. Joining me on the
そうです
couch.
よね。熱盛
if you guys
と
would like
ね、
to introduce
発売日
yourselves.
一緒ですもんね。
I'm Dreyfus.
なんか、
I run
しずえさん
this
と
game.
よく、ドゥームガイのなんか、イラストとか結構描かれてましたもんね。
I play the game sometimes.
World record holder of every category.
Hi, I'm Brian Otto. You can't get rid of me quite yet if you're watching the Vanquished run. Here again. Reprising my role on Bloodshot's couch for Doom Eternal. Thank you so much for having me back, dude. I'm very psyched to be here for this run.
Anytime. I'm glad for you to see how broken this game can get again. So before we start, a couple of things you want to explain. We're going to be doing the DLCs today, Ancient Gods Part 1 and 2. These are kind of like New Game Plus runs, so unlike last year, we're not going to have a lot of time to explain tricks before stuff just starts happening. Drake, if you want to explain a bit about the game.
So Doom Eternal is a movement shooter with dashing, double jumping, and some of the regular staples of FPS first-person shooters, which is the same word. I'm going to keep going.
最高
Like bunny
難易
hopping.
度で
We
は
will get into a lot of those details later.
あるのかな。
But
そ
to
うで
explain
す
the
ね。
category that we're playing 80% no major glitches, which is that we
ナイ
complete
ト
the game
メ
as
ア
fast
が
as
多分
possible.
一番敵の攻
whilst
撃
following the
攻
no
撃
major
頻度が
glitches
さらに
set.
上がり、
We won't
与
get
えてくるダメー
into
ジが
details of what this route
最も大きくなる。
means. It just
難易度としては、た
it's
だ
kind of like
何
an
回死んで
in-between
も
of
大丈夫って
glitchless
感じみたい
and
です。
no restrictions at all. There's some tricks that are banned, some that are allowed. We'll get into details. We're also playing on the Nightmare difficulty. So we're going to be doing stuff that's very, very risky and scary, and it's going to be great fun.
All right. Well, without further ado, I'm going to start this, and then when I guess count it down, we'll start the timer. So
あ、
Just need to wait for this for a bit
スピー
before
ド
it can start.
ゲームスピードがすごい速いので画面用に注意してくださいとのことですね。あれですね。画面の真ん中にマウスカーソルを置いてそれを見つめるとか、あと、一番手っ取り早いのは酔い止め飲むことですね。
So we start off the beginning of the run. There's going to be a lot of things that are happening, as you can see. A lot of movement.
飛んでる。なんか飛んでる。
Which is quick switching. This is the most basic tech. Every time you fire a weapon in this game, there's some cooldown, but you can just avoid the cooldown by switching to another weapon and firing that instead, while the other weapon is in cooldown.
めっちゃふわーって浮いてます。
Like that's the bread and butter grammar of fighting in this game.
Oh, that was clean.
Very nice fight.
Scary.
Typically being indoors in Nightmare difficulty is very scary. Mancubus, that big chunker that you're looking at over there, is very, very scary in close quarters. So we're going to keep our distance as opposed to getting really, really close. There's a lot of choreography in this fight, but here comes the first skip. We're going to actually skip a fight right here. Totally misplaced triggers all over the DLCs.
そうですね、もう敵に攻撃する暇を与えないほど猛烈な攻撃を仕掛けてます。画面がすごい真っ赤になってる。あ、今のあれかな、さっき言ってた即死。
There's just going to be a bunch of poorly placed triggers, and we're going to jump over them and walk past them.
Y'all were not kidding about the pace of this run too. You know, I mean, obviously I ran the game back on release, and I've seen quite a bit of, you know, runs that start from hell on earth and everything.
お、なんかすごい壁ジャンしてる。
So that's called a dash boost. If you dash into certain sloped surfaces, or what the game considers sloped, you can just convert all your dash momentum upward. And that skips something like 3 or 4 fights that we're supposed to do over there, but we don't want to do them. So
we also assisted that dash boost with some. We also assisted that.
僕もすでに割と酔いかけてます。
It has a little bit of kickback, so you can point it at the ground, shoot it, and you can kind of increase your height as well as increase your speed by shooting it backwards.
It's kind of like rocket jumping, but
very similar. Yeah.
We're actually going to see a use of that here in a second to. Instead of going faster, we're going to go upward here. And from here, we're going to avoid the climbable wall. And that skipped another fight trigger. And not only that, but because we skipped the fight, for some reason that red switch is also green, so we're allowed to shoot it.
Look at him go.
Whoa! Okay, was that like an in-game thing, or was that tech?
That was an in-game thing, where you get pushed
壁から上の壁に伝ってっちゃう。
That is called Slayer Elsa. When enemies go out of bounds, and
Just
you'll see
cancel
that more
combo.
later,
Yeah.
they eventually die on their own. So what we do there is we use the ice bomb, which freezes enemies just as he spawns, and that was the wrong enemy to chainsaw.
うわー、うわうわうわ、すごいすごいすごい。
Whoops.
That is
very difficult for you.
I was gonna say, it looked like you made one mistake and then instantly punished.
That is usually how this run goes. You have to, one thing you start tripping up, and it's hard to make up for it. So because I have to redo it, I have to fight him, which is fine.
You gotta show it off though, right? So I mean, that's the important part. It looked really cool. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not as useful all the time. Like there are plenty of spots where you can catch enemies out of bounds, but it's very rarely faster, just because it takes them very long to die out of bounds compared to just shooting them. But in this instance, it just happens to save time.
He is taking a sweet time over here.
あ、ノーマルでも難しいんですね。
This guy, I wanted
this
that.
instance, how his body just like completely gets cut off, like cut in half through the walls. It's pretty cool.
うわー。
The meatballs.
お目目くり抜き。
Here we're going to see BFG routing. A lot of times you'll see players use the BFG, the big friendly gun, because it does a lot of damage and it'll stun big enemies. But we try to use it to clear fodder because after we kill what are called trigger demons, we also have to kill the fodder room. Also, if you watched last year's run,
あんなレーザーガンスルーなんです。
would actually pose a threat. They don't.
マスコットキャラなんですかあれ。
What you're doing there is actually kind of hard to see, but the Marauder actually tries to jump in through that portal, but he gets stuck behind it into a wall, falls out of bounds, and dies.
No way, dude.
So that's how we skip the Marauder.
My favorite thing about No Minute Glitches is that there's a theme of just Marauders not getting to fight.
That was a death warp.
That is a huge death warp that skips something like 3 or 4 fights. And then here is going to be a weird, probably one of the weirder tricks of this run. We need to lead one of these guys over here.
A juicer.
And then we freeze him just so he doesn't hurt us. And then we do a meat hook jump and dash over what is a giant wall that's supposed to be a trigger for this fight, but we can just skip it.
And we're going to do that again, just with some ballista boosting jumps.
And here, the enemies actually spawn anyway, but the door is supposed to lock at the end. Instead, it does not. So we can just go through easy peasy.
Wow.
So to touch a little bit on some of the tech you saw there where he was hook jumping, when you hook onto an enemy, it refreshes your jump. So you can actually get 4 full jumps out of a hook. So you double jump, and then you jump while hooking, and then you can have another hook. Here he's going to reload because of all those fight triggers that we skipped. A lot of enemies are alive, and that takes us up the enemy cap. And at a certain point, enemies just won't spawn. So we have to reload checkpoint here. If we were playing Ultra Nightmare and we weren't allowed to reload, we would be we'd be doing some other stuff like killing some enemies, doing a little bit of some fights that we skip.
Yeah, so generally speaking, the category that's ran is Ultra Nightmare, but Ultra Nightmare is a permadeath category, which obviously is in no way marathon safe, as we have already seen. So yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
I was like, I'm pretty sure the game didn't crash. No, just Doom being Doom.
Doom Eternal's like, hey, I know you're on a big stage right now, so I'm gonna try and freak you out a little bit, shake your nerves
あれ
up.
ですね。トラクタービームみたいな感じで
I think we
引き
have
寄
time
せとか。
for a couple donations.
You got it. I have Anonymous contributing $250 here, and they say, roses are red, doom is fun, rip and tear until it is done.
Nice.
Also, $25 here from the Lone Watchman.
マローダーってやつ
Always
ね、
love
オノモ。
watching and supporting GDQ. Let's hit that 1 million and get that Halo 2 run.
熟練度が高いとおやつ。
I think we can do one more.
完食ですね、これじゃあ。ね、
$500 donation from BT
完食枠。
Savage. $1 million is a heavy lift, but I know
朝
we
ご
can
はん
do
の
it
前
if we
に
work
完食を食
together.
べる。
Let's get that Halo 2 bonus game.
So you just saw a dash boost there. He's going to do another one again. Whenever you see him like bumping up against the wall and just dashing.
Wow.
He made it.
There you go. That's what happens.
So here are the only 2 Marauders we have to fight in basically both runs. One's already dead. That is a one with Arbalest
あ、
and
謎の光が、謎の光が切
This
断面を
one's a
遮
little
って
bit
く
more
れた。
annoying
やった、ありがとう。
because it requires 2 frags normally, so we're just gonna fight them.
そうですね、適切に斧を振りかざすという
Still
感
doesn't
じ
take that
距離
much
を
time to kill.
Wow.
There is another method to do to kill him, but it's a little bit dangerous, and it takes a lot of ammo, so we elected not to do it. There's about 1 billion ways to kill Marauders really quickly. Luckily, in this category, we don't fight Marauders that often.
すごいすごい
that's pretty much
爆発で何も見えない
Yeah.
So,
oh, go ahead.
One thing you'll notice a lot is I kind of know where all the enemies are going to be. All the enemies
ドゥームって
are
こんな高くジャン
monster
プできるゲー
demons
ムだ
that you have to kill. So for instance, in this fight, you notice that those 2 Hell Knights there that are running at me, I'm just going to ignore them because they don't
あ、
really
今回は
matter.
ちょっと上行っちゃっ
They
た
do in the end, but to spawn the last wave of this fight, you have to kill everything else other than Hell Knights. And now that everything's spawned, I'm just gonna do
そう
one
やすやす
PvP
とは
and
隠
then
して
clear
くれない
all the water from the room.
Wicked.
And then it's gonna
Way
start this
too
next one.
close. So scary.
There's been a lot of research done on the fights to figure out which demons.
グロいの見たくない人間からすればあれですね
Was that an animation?
RNG 要素
What
です
was
ね
that?
Oh yeah, okay.
It's
That's
a new, like within the past month, a new trick called
あ、
punch,
二段ジャンプできる
canceling.
なるほどなるほ
If you punch
That is
and
so
then,
cool. Whoa.
If you punch and then I'm gonna do this for safety.
I can explain if you want.
Yeah, do that, please.
ど今回は
So,
これだ
so a lot of
Oh,
Ah.
This is a new
Well.
technique too, right?
No,
welcome to
ゲー
Doom
ム画
Eternal
面が
speedrunning.
this is Doom Eternal.
これが Doom Eternal ですって言ってますね今ね
It can crash the
This
game
is Doom Eternal
often.
え
Very, very
よ
often.
く
It's
止ま
very,
るのか
He
な
was doing that back when I was
Yeah.
running, dude. So yeah. I
よ
see
よ
some
く
things
止まる
didn't
のか
change.
な
Yeah. We don't know
これが
why that
Doom
happens.
Eternal
Some
です
people get it more than others. Some people, like one of the co-commentators here called Zai, he gets it all the time. Some others very rarely get it. But to continue what we were talking about, weapon switching tech, it's the most broken thing in this game, and it totally caught us by surprise. A couple of players, Sylar and Brio, excuse me, not this Brian Otto, but
Not
another
me,
Brio.
not me.
Yeah. They came in and just found all this weapon switching tech, and they found so many crazy things that now like we do fights completely differently, and
BFG
punch boosting or punch switching is one of those things.
B-
You
B-
basically
BFG って何
shoot
で
your
すか
weapon,
BFG
punch, and
バック
switch to the very
バッ
weapon that
ク
you're shooting right now, and it just
あ
cancels
全
the
然何の
cooldown
略
of
かわか
weapon
ん
for
ない
some reason. I'm getting some details wrong, but the important part is it's fast and it's awesome.
Don't forget to restart Discord, by the way, Blood.
Oh, yeah, give me a sec. Sorry.
Cool. No, you're all good. You're all good.
今のがこのゲームで一番壊れてい
I'll
る
do that real quick.
あ、
Apologies.
BFG で
Oh,
いい
you're
です
fine,
ね
dude. Can be hard to remember all this in the heat of the moment. Yeah.
なんかの略なのかなと
Okay.
あ、武器の名前なるほどな
We're just getting some stuff figured out, folks. Hang tight.
Yeah, just
あーなるほど
Yeah, so that was
う
actually
ん
one
触
of
れ
the
触れ
things
な
I
い
was
ってお
going
き
to
ましょう
ask
かはい
Drake was how exactly
なるほどね
like
はい
obviously
はいはい
if anybody's familiar with Doom speedruns, there's something known as
じゃあオフィシャルの名称ってことでい
alpha rotation.
い
At
で
least
す
in Doom
ねはい
2016, where you swap between like the three most
あ
high
フレ
DPS
ンドリーガ
weapons.
ーは
And
いビッグ
obviously
フレ
that
ンド
was a
リーガ
bit
ー
of a thing back when Doom Eternal came out. So one of my questions was going to be exactly how that has evolved, and it sounds like it's gotten extremely complicated.
Yes, I mean, yes.
あ
I
タイ
mean,
マー止まって
the
ます
easy
よ
answer, the kind of meme answer is just SSG everything. SSG is like the best gun in the game. It just does a huge amount of damage.
That's
But there's
the
a lot
super
of
shotgun.
that's a
It
super shotgun.
melts.
Excuse me. Yeah, it melts
あ
everything.
初代からある武器
But
なる
there's
ほ
a
ど
lot of complications with it. It depends on like, of course, like if you're not close, then you don't want to use a super shotgun. Sometimes a super shotgun does less damage in certain situations, and like it's very complicated. So there isn't really a traditional alpha rotation, simply because the weapon switching tank is a little bit different. If I recall correctly, it's
見えてる範囲全体
yes,
ダメ
please, thank you.
maybe Brian or you know a little bit more about this, but if I recall, like in Doom 2016, you can't switch between two weapons. You have to switch between 2, 3, or 4 weapons because the cooldowns don't like get canceled by switching weapons.
That sounds like what I remember. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's just not the case in Doom Eternal. It's either that or the cooldowns are much shorter for each weapon. So when we switch, it's not a big deal.
Wow.
But generally, there are some like rules against like you wouldn't want to do. Like for example, you don't typically don't want to use the ballista in fights, for example, just because it doesn't deal that much damage, and you want the plasma ammo to ballista boost around for movement and such.
I would imagine you'd want to conserve that ammo. Yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, the game has definitely evolved as far as like this alpha rotation thing. In the very beginning, I remember watching people play, and they would just switch between like ballista, SSG, like rocket launcher, and that was it. But then we
That's
found
what I
out.
did. Yeah.
So now it's just PB SSG.
すごいな
PB is the sniper, because it's like the fastest to switch to that and get more SSG.
動き早すぎて脳の処理追いつきませんもん
Zai, could you talk a little bit about like some of the modifications? Speaking of like,
DS1 3面ぐらいあ
alpha
なるほど
rotation modifications, safety is one of them. How would you adjust how you do these fights?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, I mean, look how Bloodshot is playing, but don't copy him at all because this is so dangerous. Just like honest. Okay, so the one thing I can say that he's doing really well, and you should copy if you want to like improve or whatever, is stay in the air at all times. Use your movement abilities like the meat hook. Just jump, jump, jump. Like in the air, the Slayer can basically like transcend space and time, but only in the air. And
unironically, if you want to like do any challenge or any like hard continents game, get air control of the rune and just stay in the air as much as possible, and like nothing can, some enemies can't even hurt you or path to you at all, and then others
とりあえ
just
ず難しそうなゲームだってことは
Yeah.
yes.
Also, some
Next level.
actually, I'm gonna hold that thought. There's an important trick coming up.
Yeah, so there's a cool trick that I think is used more in the base game, but does have a lot of cool uses in the DLC
cool
as well.
Environment.
But it's called yeet hooking.
Yes.
Yeet.
Yes.
Oh,
I
so-
missed that. That's so good.
So what that is the
す
meat
ごい
hook
楽しそう
obviously lets you fling yourself at high speeds, and the higher your frame
あれ
rate,
なんか
the better these speeds. But when you
なんか
slow down the game with weapon wheel, it like increases your
な
frames,
何
quote
が
unquote.
なんか
Not
急
really,
に
but
室内入
that's
りました
basically
よ
how we
ね
describe it.
何が起こったんだ
Also, running theme, Marauders are the hardest
壁に
enemy in the
突っ
game.
込んだら急に室内入ってく
So
る
remember how we said Marauders or like
Ah,
enemies
洞窟
die
あ、穴があったの
technically
か
that
なる
area is
ほ
out
ど
of bounds. So we just prevent him from jumping up to us, and he just dies out of bounds.
That is so big brain. I love that.
We're not even sure if it's faster, but it is.
It's safer and it's very.
すごい高速で泳ぐな、すごいな。
It looks great, so that's got to save a few seconds, just like right there.
Dude.
It doesn't matter.
So to elaborate a little bit on the yeet hook, when you hold left or right, the hook will just carry you along, and like Bloodshot said, it's frame rate dependent. So if you notice on the top right, our FPS never actually exceeds 250. That's in the rules so that players with better computers don't have an advantage. A lot of things in this game are FPS dependent. We might actually cover some of those things, like a lot of things. We like to joke that like this game is basically modern Half-Life because
in particular, one element that's very hard to notice is enemy AI is actually like faster and tracking is better at higher FPS. So if you're playing at higher FPS, the enemies are actually just not obnoxiously harder, but noticeable enough. So
yeah. Also, like bunny hopping is also easier.
By the way.
Oh, by the way, XD.
LOL.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Stay out of bounds.
ああ、ラグドールがすごいことになってる。
Dude, that looks great in Gary's mod.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Shout out to Gary's mod.
Just preventing the spawn, keeping him out of bounds. So
機体が壁に引っかかってまし
we
た。
actually get introduced to a new enemy over here. That Hell Knight we just ran past actually looks a little different. He's possessed by a spirit, and that spirit buffs enemies. They don't get faltered. They possess, like when the spirit leaves the body of one of them, it'll enter another one, and they're just a lot harder to kill. They take more damage. They also deal a little bit more damage. What he just did there was another dash boost to get the height, and there's actually that dash boost is actually really tight. There's a tiny hole in the invisible wall around that ledge. And he just tried to like squeeze right into it.
ものすごい距離をものすごい近
Yeah,
い。
that's ballista boosting movement for you.
敵
Also,
に
what
し
I
か
did
使え
there,
る。
that punch block for some
なん
reason is
か
always
めっちゃ
active.
加
So you
速
just
度
dash
保
into
存して
it.
る感じの取り方
The
して
game
ま
lets
す。
you continue. So you don't actually have to fight anything.
さあ、では
I think we might
Sorry, I'm
have
just in
そ
awe
ろ
right
そろ
now. I'm just
8
watching
時
this like.
になりますので、
I mean, I just, you just
私は
casually charged up
こ
the
こいらで
that charge shot the whole
一旦
way and like B hopped it to keep her momentum
離
and then
脱さ
annihilate
せ
that
て
whole
い
fight.
ただきま
There's
す。
just there's a
司
lot
会
there's a lot
交
going
代
on here.
のお時間で
I
ご
am
ざいま
noticing.
す。
Some
次の
notes
方に
on
お
bunny
願いした
hopping
いと思
actually.
いま
If
す。
you're
では
a
失礼い
source
たし
player,
ます
bunny hopping has some weird properties in this game where like the higher you are, or rather the faster you are falling, it'll or let me try again. Vertical speed is converted when you hit a bunny hop. So if you're like falling really
さんお
fast,
疲
that
れ
speed
様
will
で
be
した。
converted forward when you hit the bunny hop. So we use that in a few instances
さあ
to
皆さん、
mainly in the base campaign
サマー
to
ゲームズ
charge
ダンクウィ
speed.
ック並び
But
に
in
ジャ
this
パニー
case,
ズ
we
リストリー
need
ム
to
お
find
楽
that
しみ
we
いただいてるでしょうか。ここからの司会は私、レイヤが担当いたします。よろしくお願いします。
Bounce immediately out of it and gain a lot of
Almost forgot I
speed.
need to reload this.
Yeah.
さあ、ゲームの方は、Doom Eternal の DLC5 目の方ですかね。が、中盤のところでしょうか。
Even if the fight wouldn't soft lock, the fights will just take way too long because only 4 enemies can spawn at a time, so they'll spawn fodder.
こういった FPS ゲームに全然系統が深くないもので、皆様のお力をお借りしながらお話を進めていきたいなと思いますので、ぜひコメントの方加速させていってください。また、もしね、見てる方の中で、俺、喋れるんだけど、ちょっと配信行ってもいいですかっていう方がいらっしゃいましたら、ぜひね、公開されているディスコードの方にご参加いただければと思います。おや、ディスコの下にお名前出てないよ、ほんとだ。声は聞こえてますかね？もうしょっちゅうね、ディスコードの調子悪かったり良かったりするので、声は聞こえてる。そうですよね。ありがとうございます。ちょっともしかしたら、なんか、ディスコードのエラーか、配信のエラーか、わからないですけれど。あ、そうなんですね。ちょっと、ここのとこ調子悪い感じかもしれないですね。そしたら。わかりました。ありがとうございます。
We picked up a rune while we were waiting for the Marauder. That rune lets us deal extra damage with our blood punch, which is a weapon in this game.
Mhm.
It lets us deal extra damage when our HP is below 75.
なかなかね、
There's some glitches and details with it, but it's a lot of damage in this.
スタッフも入れ替わりって対応してるものですから。しかもね、1週間の長期間の配信ですからね。配信を担当してるパソコンも、なかなかひいこら言ってるはずですね。ぜひ皆さんの方で盛り上げていってもらえればと思います。
Even then, like when I was recording some of the data values, it was strange. Like some demons took way more, some demons took a little less.
Getting the totem this time, understandable, understandable.
Oh my gosh. Don't get Drake started on the data values.
さあ、たまに折っている棒っぽいのは、
There are spreadsheets. This is the point. That's the only thing you need to know.
敵をバフす
There
る。
are spreadsheets out there.
わざわざ倒しているっていうことで、何かしらのショートカットになっているのかということですね。
Like that tells me everything I need to know. Let this be a note, by the way. If you want to be a good speedrunner, get good at spreadsheets. Like they are so important for high-level speedrunning. I mean, I know in my time with Titanfall 2, I've made like 7 or 8 of them. So definitely a good thing.
Oh god, here it is, the self-damage.
Setting up for this.
Oh my! That's annoying.
Get down, Mr. President.
All right. So normally you can kill this guy in literally just 2 blood punches. I got ridiculously bad luck there with the spawns, but that's fine.
The key to the same button for blood punching is the same button to glory kill, and you glory kill the demon behind the.
Oh
wait, wait, what?
So that guy died out of bounds.
Sometimes that can happen.
That was intended, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. First try.
Didn't you read the spreadsheet?
The other thing about so spirits with their spirit buff, they'll go to the next available enemy unless there's no available enemy left. So if you just kill everything before they get a chance to possess anything, they just die on their own. So you don't actually have to worry about killing them. Like, there we go.
Oh, and another thing to explain too, real quick. Chainsaw kills give you a ton of ammunition, and they're a resource you can use too, indicated in the bottom right with a little fuel. Small enemies can be killed with 1 fuel, and then big enemies usually require 3.
And the important detail is that when you spend more fuel per enemy, you don't get more ammo. You get the same amount of ammo. So we time our chainsaws specifically for that to kill really big enemies, so we don't have to waste ammo or like a bunch of time.
So the gimmick with this area is we're supposed to follow this dog who's protecting us from the fog. We're just gonna go in through the back exit.
My doggo.
ゲーム進行上必要なのは大型と超大型を倒す。
But the devs just left that area open, so we just go into the back and we don't have to fight a bunch of stuff.
As much as they love invisible walls, they forgot.
You cannot pet the dog, unfortunately.
You knew I was gonna ask too. Jeez.
If anybody saw the Shadow Colossus run, you would accidentally punch the dog if you tried to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, do not do that. Do not do that.
Ida?
I just watched Cosmic just vanquish about 4.
燃えてますね。
I don't need any more heartbreak today.
So
here we're just going to meet up jump here. This fight is really annoying.
BEA beautiful.
He's actually looking down here just to increase his frame rate because guess what? The BFG does more damage when you're frame rate.
The GoldenEye strategy.
I am shocked.
The GoldenEye strategy, I love that.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, definitely.
So there's oh, did he not die?
小型の敵は無限湧きする。ああ、なるほどなるほど。そういうのはもう無視していかないと。
Spirits in particular just like
それだけ時間が飛んでっちゃうってことですね。
but that works for us because it means the spirits just not going to
どうしてもね、ゲームの仕様とか、プレイヤー側がどういったことを通常プレイでできるのかっていうのを知らないことには、悪いことしてるのか否かっていうのも判断つかないっていうのはちょっとね。申し訳なさはありますけれど。
There are examples where a spirit will just like the trail will just shoot out into the sky out to another fight, and the run will be over. You'll have to reset.
Yep.
So that's why we also have to manage spawn limits.
This is slowly becoming like the Murphy's Law of Doom Eternal.
Very much so.
And Blood, you are persevering, dude. You are pushing through. I very much admire it.
取られているのが
So here we're gonna fight,
みんな大嫌い アーチバイル。
as a boss.
Whoa.
Why are we fighting boxes? Good question.
Because they're not an orb.
This is cool.
It's a
Well,
really
there's
good
an orb
question.
inside, I guess.
What the hell?
This is their true
Shall you
self.
know
They're
what to
coming
do?
out. This is
We could probably do like 2 or 3 donations.
Yes.
You got it. We received $100 from Crisis Angel Wolf, saying the Bloodshot 9001 is firing. The Bloodshot 9001 is firing. I'm so proud of you, Bloodshot.
私の嫌いです。
Done for speedrunning. 2 years of speedrunning and 2 years at SGDQ.
皆さんに嫌われてるんですね、本当に。
You are an incredible person and you're doing incredible. Good luck with both of the DLCs. And $10 here from Doomguy46. Hey, Bloodshot. Great to see you running these 2 awesome expansions again. It's been so much fun doing thumbnails for you over the last year. Best of luck with the run. And as you asked me to remind you, play the game as intended, you nerd.
Thanks, Doom Guy. Also, shoutouts to Crisis. Best wife ever.
Aww.
wow.
If anybody was here last year, she was not my wife, so that has been a very... Despite everything that's happened in the past... a little bit.
まあ時間的には終盤でしょうか。
Alright, so these are the enemies called Bloodmakers. They have this shield which prevents all damage until they're firing. We can kind of manipulate them to start firing at us, and then they die in one shot.
You're just casually headshotting these dudes, by the way. Like,
高い森っていう感じですかね。
okay.
Well, you know, some of us are.
人工物も散乱してますね。
Sick, by the way.
まだ2面です。ごま
There are demons.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. So we haven't explained the story is we like murdering demons, and that's it. We murder demons.
So here we're gonna do a series of movements, and hopefully this dash boost is nice.
おう
It is
Energy
not.
shield.
あー、なるほど、なるほど。
Boost.
ちょっと
Oh my word.
This
僕の入る前とかで
this looks
あり
hard.
ましたかね。
It's not usually this hard.
Come on.
Weapon wheel?
I was gonna see if I can get this this guy for health.
落とされようとしてます。
So actually,
Okay.
upcoming, there's gonna be like a bunch of tricks in a row. Like this level's nuts. Like, we
あ、
literally do
フリーズしたんですか。
crazy tricks in a row.
それは災難
We
で
do
した
this
ね。
dash boost. We do a yeet into a rock that flies into the air, or a yeet bounce, or a
What the heck?
a younce, if you will.
Give us a dash
おっ
boost.
と、
Being so mean
落
right
ちてしまいました。
Is that
ちょっと頭抱えてるとこ見ると、意図的なものではなさそうですね。ステージ最初からか
Alright,
な
take 2.
?Take 2。あ、no.
I was gonna say
I
I'm
mean,
doing
what-
that for safety, but apparently not safe enough. Come on.
Weapon
Oh
wheel?
my word. Yeah, I'm gonna try that. Hold on.
So you can make the dash boost easier by weapon
There
wheel.
we
Yeah,
go.
Oh, there we go. Good stuff. Good stuff.
So this is
Whoa.
the first trick.
Oh, that was cool. Okay.
So what we did there was we landed near the wall to despawn everything behind us so that we don't have to worry about that.
Here's
Also,
the ounce.
this lets us
Oh!
go over an invisible wall. So we don't have to do some weird platforming.
Did you just yeet hook yourself into geometry?
Into
Like,
a
you got slung
slug,
up
yeah.
like that? Wow.
Here comes
And if
another.
we
なんか目離した隙に、おーと言われたんだけれど。
So here we skip a trigger.
ちょっ
It's supposed to spawn demons.
と、壁抜けたでしょ、どうせ。
Friends?
Oh, I didn't have two
Aw.
dashes.
Oh,
We do it.
Wow.
We do
You
have
can't
to
do this.
because there's a DFG pick up there. So I'm gonna do some B hops. Maybe I can get this. This is really annoying to get with the backups.
Ah. Oh, nice.
then-
Wow.
Nice.
Yes!
Oh my god.
Pillar
we got it.
men's!
I knew you were gonna be excited when I got that.
Yes!
That series of ballistic boost there is a lot tougher than it looks.
Yeah.
To the point
本放送の声が明らかにもう悪いこと成功して
how I do or don't get it.
信じらんねえよみたいな感じですね。
Just so insane. Just keep
Upcoming
going.
is supposed to be a tough fight. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Nice.
So we set ourselves up to yeet hook off of this guy into this slope, and then woo!
Oh my god, dude, I thought you were gonna clip.
So also fun, just the only level in the DLCs that tends to be really nice with despawns is this level. Everything below it despawns, which we don't have to worry about if we're loading checkpoint, but especially for Ultra Nightmare.
さっき2面じゃなかったでしたっけ？あれ？
Should work? Yeah, that worked.
飛ばした？もしかして。
Alright, here we're set. Oh.
そういうわけではない。
Did he not get possessed? Oh no, he is. Okay, just took a while.
そういうわけですよね、やっぱりそれって。
Blood makers, so we don't have to worry about that. We're sitting at an ammo pool underneath the blood makers. When you headshot them, they drop a bunch of ammo. We're gonna sit under that ammo pool and load on the spirit tire.
And it's time for the Destroyer Blade showcase.
Yeah, so unironically, the D Blade has just become like the best weapon for just all the DLCs, I think, or just all of Doom as a whole.
So Overdrive, the one that he just picked up right here, actually gives you infinite ammo for most weapons. And he's that
was the yellow power up on the ground.
Yeah.
Yes.
ちょっと EFT はフリーズしてしまったってこと考えると超えちゃうでしょうね。
Of tag one.
Of tag one. So I'm going to reload checkpoint to set up a little bit of RNG. The boss tends to teleport away if you go into the fight without reloading. This boss fight's going to be weird. This boss fight was very infamous and kind of still is for being probably the hardest boss in all of Doom Eternal.
LC ラスボス。
It's going to be interesting to show what you can do with it.
3面、あれ？面を移動するときのロードとかがもろもろカットされるのかなと思うと。これは確かに速くなるわな。
So after phase 1 starts phase 2. If you BFG right before phase 2 starts, it hurts / kills.
ではない。あ、よかった。
Which means we don't actually have to fight them possessed. This is actually like the best combination because we want to take out the one that goes for the Mancubus first anyway. So now we have this guy left.
Mancubus has more HP.
And then if you just bunny hop while using this microwave beam to kill him, you're basically safe.
So now we actually have some time for donations.
Yeah, this is a auto scroller, but it's a very fun auto scroller. So if you have donations, go for them.
Okay, yeah, I have a $50 donation here from
なんか脳みそが露出してる感じとか、細長い感じとか、某国民的 RPG のセブンラスボスみたいな形態してますね。
What is happening?
Oh, I'm hopping on a Cacodemon.
He also
is this a strat?
No. No amount of killing these. You have to survive this for 1 minute. So it's just easier to put these guys in a glory kill state and to hop on one of them.
Let me just quickly explain some that we need to explain. He lowered his HP again on purpose. He's gonna set up one of those blood punch kills on the boss right here. That's why he lowered his HP.
Oh my god.
Just in case you wonder why the boss spawns and then just instantly dies.
What is this strategy called?
Pet Caco.
玉乗りしてたんですかね。
Oh, that's okay. Oh my god. What shot? Okay. Making me a little nervous.
There we go.
There you go.
Unless I get something here. Oh, I might get something here. I'm not sure. If I get something here. Nope. So we do a little thing there to charge Destroyer Blade before these guys spawn, just to hit this guy on the left before he gets possessed.
ダメージが通らなくてギミック戦闘っていう風なことですから、もう完全に暇つぶししてる感じでしょうね。アンチ入っちゃえば、あとはもう時間経過するの待たなきゃいけないってなれば。2D アクションならよく見る光景。でもこれ 3D の DS アクションなんですよね。持っていきましたね。あ、これでタイマー止まりましたね。Good game。あー、寄らないで寄らないで。
Yeah, well, I mean, GG.
Oh.
Everything I could at you. Well, let me tell you.
あ、爆発しました。
Yeah,
Okay, so right now we're just going to take a quick break to set up for the second DLC. So we're right back.
Yep. See you soon.
Thank you all so much
さあ、
for
ドゥームエターナルエイシェントズ1。
a $250 donation here
先ほど、
Azoden who says
本
Violets are blue. Donate
放送の方の
and see Halo
解説さんもおしゃべりしてましたけれ
2.
ど、
That was fantastic.
この後、同じ奏者さんが引き続き DLC2 の方の、走りもするということで、引き続きお楽しみください。